born in India actually, a small village called Samapo, and a district called Mandirfadia. Yeah, my parents' name is Gabai Patel. My mother's name is Gangaben Patel. Well, as far as I can remember, my childhood was good because I had both my parents with me, and my mother was very strong-minded, so she was good, well, looking after me and the whole family, of course, and that's about it. Tell you the truth, I can't remember any unhappy days with me. I was sort of independent myself, so I can't remember unhappy days with me. So, well, everything to me was fine with me. The happiest moment, as far as I can remember, more or less, I've always been happy going actually, and I have always been, as I've said, independent. So I make up my own mind. Although I was young, little, still I used to make my own mind up. Although sometimes at times my mother, my father used to tell me, don't do that. But what I thought was right, I always used to do it. Well, my parents, they are both from India, and they're born in India. But my father used to work just nearby town called Navsari, and thereafter he decided to come over to Kenya. But that was after my brother Mahendra was born, which happened in April 1948. Then he decided to go to Kenya and see what he can do for us, and he settled down in Kenya. Well, exactly, I don't know what happened where, but we were only a middle class people in India. Well, we weren't money wise and all that. So that could be the reason. My parents thought it's best, because those days people were allowed to go to Kenya. It was British people's they were ruling the India those days. So that was the time when our parents can immigrate wherever they want to go. Wherever the British are, they can be taken over. But as soon as he went, with somebody else's sponsorship, my father went to Kenya in 1948. We were okay. We were well. As far as I'm concerned, we never had unhappy days. Tell you the truth, although we weren't rich, but as far as I can remember, we never ever went without food. So that was important those days, and my mother always make sure that we eat well. I don't know how she used to manage it, but that was the thing actually happened with us. As soon as when my father got settled down in Kenya, he managed to get visas for us, which happened in 1958. After 10 years, that is. So in between, my father used to come to see us after 2 years or 3 years, something like that. And eventually we managed. We were given a visa to immigrate to Kenya. That was happened in 1958. And the exact date was 19th April. So, and those days there was no flights. And there might be a flight, but then there's no way we can afford to do that, but go by the plane. So only way is travel by the boat or a steamer, which normally take about 7 to 8 days. Well, we went in 1958. Actually, I spent my whole childhood in Kenya. So as if I have spent all my life in Kenya because I was brought up there. So there was no such as a problem. But then in 1966, I decided myself, because I have finished my GCSE O levels, and then I had good passing rate. So I had immediately, as soon as I finished in 1966, I got a job in Miwani Sugar Factory as a clerk in the account office, making the wages. I was a wages class in Kenya actually, and when I became wages class, I had to make the amount. I mean, the wages what this African gets. I used to make all these things. So I got a good job, although I was paid about 300 shilling, which is roughly about £3 these days a month, which I was happy, as my father was only paid 900 shilling a month. Compared with that, I was doing well. Then in 66, after working for about nearly a year, I thought there's no scope here in Kenya. Then what happened then? I decided with my friends what I shall do. That is only me and my friends. We decided let's go over to UK. Had no information about UK. Those days there's no information at all. But because one of his friends used to live in UK, so he said, best come over here and settle down. You'll probably find it better here. So immediately that's what we originally thought. Okay, we should live. But my mother wasn't doing well. My mother had an operation, stomach operation that time. So, and second, I was the eldest son. So my mother would not let me come here. Only information we had was one of my friend's friend used to live in UK. He's the one who suggested us to come over. We had no idea whatsoever what's happening in UK, what the land is going to be like, what the people is going to be like. We had no idea whatsoever. But when we decided to go, we thought let's go over as if we are rich. So we thought it's best to go and let's see what we can do up there. That's only idea, nothing else. What we saw, in fact, well, we learned that tell you the truth, it's a new land for us, new place for us. So it was very interesting. We were looking forward to it actually. But when we were picked up from the airport, that was fine. He kept all his promises, my friend's friend, and he kept all his promises and took it to his residence in Arlo. Okay, so we spent about one night, it probably a weekend, Friday or something like that, I can't exactly remember. We spent one night, all four of us, to his one house, 2-bedroom house. And then he said, okay, today is a weekend, I'll take you around to the London. So he took us to London. We traveled London everywhere, all the new places, all the historical places. We saw all that in one day. This was our second or third day in London. And we were impressed. at the same day we also traveled at nightclubs and these and other things, and which we never had that sort of time back home in Kenya. So we found it very interesting. I don't know what he meant to show all this in one day, but then he hasn't had much time after that. First few years struggling. I've been one job to the other job to three, but then again I had no other choice but to do the job, because back home I had a big family of thing of. Although I was told by my parents to come back to Kenya if you don't find proper job or if you're not happy with that, but then again I thought myself, what's the use of going back to Kenya when there's no scope? Then eventually, then I said, no, the best way to settle down, and because I knew my parents had to come one day, so it's best to me settle down here first and organize something to where I can settle down, where I can live, and that's how I plan myself. So I've been traveling from London to Birmingham, Birmingham to Leicester, Leicester to London, and so on again. But eventually I settled down in Leicester in 1968 July. Well, the way of communication, there wasn't any other way of communicate, only the way you can write a letter to them. And I was good with writing a letter to my parents, my sisters, and I used to write them every week a letter to them saying I'm well settled here, I'm happy, although I wasn't. At certain stage I was thinking I should have come to this country, because I never thought it would be like this, because I was going through hell of a time with my work, with my job, living condition. If you look at it, we used to, although it was freezing cold, we used to go, even bathroom, there was no bathroom at places, no toilets at normal places, and it was difficult. Well, right from beginning at the age of 17, 18, I was more or less independent. I wanted to do something myself. That is always I had in my mind. Always thought of positive way of doing things, and that is how I survived here when I came here. Because whatever I wanted to do, luckily I was happening exactly. So although I wasn't happy with what I was doing, but I had no other choice. But I had a choice to go back, but then again, we weren't rolling in money, so there was no. It's not worth thinking about even. So that's the only way. So always when I write to my parents, to my sisters, anyone, I always write to them. I'm well settled here. I'm happy. So any day, once we settle down, we might come over to Kenya. That's how we talk to them. Yeah. My parents came over on 11th of August 1973, and I got married on 6th of September 1973. So they weren't here for long before I got married. Fine. But then thereafter, okay, I was well settled with my job and everything, so I had no problem with money wise or anything. We can get by. Although all my parents, all my brothers, everyone was here. Although we had the house, we had big enough house, as according to me, to settle down. So I was fine that way. So I carried on working. Okay, basically I was working in it was good company whereby I got promotions, I got all sort of things when I came to Leicester. When I started working with people around me, they always thought of me that I could make a good businessman. Everyone whom I worked with, they always thought of me like that. So I thought I must have some sort of category whereby I can do some sort of business. So although I didn't have much money, all by by the time I opened up the business, one of my friends told me, come round to London. And if you, because I tried here everywhere in Leicester, I had only £2,000 in my pocket. Although I had only £2,000 in pocket, I was still thinking to go in a business. So I had no other choice. Although I already bought my house, but since I was in Leicester, I couldn't get any business. So to start with, I only thought of going into a newspaper shop or something. I was ready to work hard. So I thought, okay, so meantime I got this opportunity from my friend. He said, okay, come round to London. There is a shop going for sale and it's only £8,000. I had 2,000 and my friend didn't have much at all. Well, since I got married in 73, after that I had a small family. Okay, my daughter was born in 1974. My other son was born in 76. Then I said, all the family was growing. So then I said, best bet would be to go for business. Although I didn't have much money myself, but I had my property and everything with me. That's only money I had. So eventually I decided to go into business myself with support of my friend who was willing to help me out, and we decided go in partnership. So although I only had £2,000 with me, then because he never had enough money himself, he might have put about £1,000 with the business, and we went 50-50. Okay, after going in partnership, my friend who was only single himself, I had a small family with me, and then he thought his best bet would be he gets out of that business and told me, because you got a family, so you can run this business yourself, and I don't want to be a part of it. He was doing it my favor actually, which I did not like in first place, but he was a good guy and he decided to do that for me. And eventually he said, okay, all you have to do me is give me a £2,000 back. That was after 2 years. And whereby I said 2,000 put quite a lot of money those days. So I said, okay, fine. Because whatever he says, I thought it was just right. Although I didn't like it, because £2,000 those days, it was quite a lot of money. But by 2 years, I probably have made up that money. So I decided, but also there was only one condition. He said, you don't have to pay me £2,000 straight away. You can pay me monthly, whatever the amount you can do, which I did. Once I took over the business myself, I carried on, although it was a hard work. So I carried on myself, and I thought I'll build myself up with the money wise and all that. Then I carried on for a good 7.5 years. My family was growing up, although they were small. My half the family was in Leicester, and my own family was with me. So they were growing it up, and their cousins and cousin sisters, everybody growing up in Leicester. We thought, it's about time I should leave this place and go back home. Although I had my own house and everything, so I had no problem as such. Meantime, while I was in business, my brother wanted to buy a house himself. So he told me, because he didn't have money himself. So he said, he always asked me. Then I said, okay, fine, how much you need that? So, okay, fine. So I said, okay, I'll send you the money, put the deposit, and go ahead with the building. So by that time, he's got his own property. By the time I come back to Leicester after 7.5 years, my almost whole family got their own properties. That was after 7.5 years. So which wasn't bad. So I was okay coming back. So I sold my property. Sold the business after 7.5 years. I came back to Leicester. Once I moved back to Leicester, I decided I would never ever get into business myself because it was a very hard life. My kids were growing up and everything. I didn't have much time to spend with them. Although I used to spend every weekend whatever I can get, take them away, take on every places we wanted to go. But once we got here, we got a big family, so we can organize something here. But I never thought I will ever go into the business. But then again, I thought, okay, I'll start looking for a job. Eventually, I thought I'll relax for a while. So about, say something like, I came back in 77 July, and then it's not 77, sorry, I forgot it. I came back in 83 actually, and then I decided to just relax myself and see what I can do myself. And eventually I thought, well, I don't want to start working, so I just stayed home more or less, spent some time with the brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, and everyone. And then I thought, after roughly about a year, I thought, no, I should do something myself. Okay, after having my rest, it was about 15 months, then I thought, no, it's not worth working for someone because I did for good 7.5 years already. So I thought, let me go into business. Then because one of my brother was an engineer in television, then I thought if I start something to do with television electronics, then he will be there to help me out to do repairs and things like that. And I thought, but I wanted to start somewhere that nobody has got similar shop. So that is because I had the money now. So I thought, okay, fine. I had about £50,000 in my pocket. So I thought I would go in electronics and any repairs and everything. I had got my brothers and everything done. I work it out myself. So I always had my positive thinking all the time. Doesn't matter what. A number of people told me not to go in electric because there's a lot of shops around and all that. And secondly, I was in a newspaper business. So I said, what sort of experience have you got in electronics? Although I had nil, even I didn't know how to change the plug even. After I decided to go in electronics because I thought it is easier life. When I say easier life, I mean when you open up 10 o'clock, finish at 6 o'clock. So I thought it will be better for me, for my family, my nephews, nieces, everyone, all relations here. We are 50 of us here. So I thought that would be the best one. Rather than going to a newspaper, I could easily get a newspaper shop. But I thought, no, I don't want to do that again. So I went into electric. I found the property which was leased. It was leased for 10 years with £3,000 rent yearly, which was, I found it was a lot cheaper than London. So I went for it. Although so many people told me not to go in it, and £3,000 is a lot of money as well for a year. I said, still, I did not listen to anyone. I thought I can do something myself. Once I got the property, which was leased for 10 years, and then I decided to go ahead with all the electronics. But then again, it wasn't exactly the same as like newspaper. So I had to go look for the agency and everything, and nobody was prepared to give me any agency whatsoever you talk about. But there was no agency because I wasn't into electronic before. So that's only was the snack. So only I was, because all this I went through all different channels to get through the electronic agency for any say Sony, Toshiba, Pioneer. There are lots of electronics, so I thought I'll get it easily, but I never did. Then eventually I found a wholesaler, but then again they would not give anything on credit. So only best way was to spend money on everything. So what I did was pay cash. Whatever I get it, I pay cash. So this 50,000 I had in my pocket, that was gone easily. All the money was invested in my electronics, everything because I bought it cash. But then again I said no, I'll go ahead, I'll be okay. So I carried on doing it. Once I got everything displayed and I opened up the shop in September 84, and everything was full, the shop was, so yeah, immediately with the help of God, I would say, I began to get a customer. Even the first day I had one customer saying, some guy asking me, have you got the tuna? Tell you the truth, I knew nothing about tuna, what the hell, what it meant. So all had all displayed on my display, and I said to them, is that everything is on display, so you can look at it yourself, oh, this is the one. Then I remember, oh, tuna is a radio. And because I had no clue about electronics. Eventually I learned everything. Eventually I began to get my agencies and all that. It took me good 5 years to settle down in that business before I get the agencies. Still, I was carried on. When I got my electric shop, I had to name it, but then people say put some names like Sony, Toshiba, Pioneer, anything. Then I thought I didn't have no agency with me. So I said, what's the use of putting the name which is not there? So I said, best way I'll put some initial, like all my brothers start with me, R, my brother Mahendra, then Manha, then Navneet and Harshad. I try to put initials together, but I never came out with any name with that. But then I said, okay, to begin with, I'll take my other brother Mahendra. So I thought of R, myself, and M for my brother Mahendra. This is how I started. So, but it didn't sound very good, so I put R and M to start with. Then I thought myself, oh no, it doesn't sound all that brilliant. So I thought, make it a longer name. So I spell it out like R, A-R-E. M would be AM. So I put it together and put it RM TV and Video Center. I opened my shop, everything with that name on the top. So people used to ring me. And I used to say, good morning, can I help you? It's RM TV and Video. And eventually people came out with this name, reading the name, instead of RM, they used to like a ream, because it actually spelled like a ream. So everybody thought I was Muslim. That's where everything started. And thereby I got 85% of Muslim customers, and whereby I was very happy. Once I got the agencies through the connections and everything else, I managed to get through. Okay, I began to get busy as well. So my brother, who works full time at somebody's place, he cannot afford to come daytime. So what I did, I said, I don't want to take anybody else. But then I had a brother of mine, both brothers, Navneet and Harshad. The Harshad was unemployed and Navneet was also. So I decided to get them because I was busy. I can afford to pay them wages as well. So I got them, both of them, right now. Then I need someone 24 hours to repair. So meantime I got the engineer as well somehow. And then I told my brother Navneet, I said, learn everything from him. Then we don't need him after that. But then again, we carried on with the engineer, Navneet there, deliveries there, everything there. So we managed to do everything. Once I settled down well and my business was flourishing, I had 85% of Muslim customers. So I had a good support from Muslim people. So I have So that way I love people around me anyway. But then my business was flourishing. I was doing very well. I got no problem whatsoever. Then after a while, then everything was normal. I enjoyed every bit of my business. At the same time, I could afford to go on holiday, afford to do this and that, everything. At the same time, I was settled. Then eventually, after good long time in that business, 22 good years, I never decided to pack it up. But then my family, all my kids, all grown up, get married and everything. So I thought, best to retire now. So I retired at the age of 58. And since then, I haven't done anything. I've forgotten all about electronics. I've had a good time with my family. So I got no complaint. I was happy with what I did. And still, I'm happy what I'm doing right now. Okay, as I grown up, with family and everybody else, the time has changed quite a lot actually. Although I don't know how to put it, which way to put it, but since I struggled, but everything I did myself was like challenge to me. So anything I was privately myself. So I don't actually advertise myself to do this and that, everything. So in a way, I was my own personality with what I've grown up. But since the way I was brought up, I was always look at my own family. I say best bet would be my family would be the first thing to go for. So the way I brought up, I had a hard time, but I don't take it as a hard life. But this is how I was brought up. But then again, now when you look at my own kids, my families, all my brothers, sisters, everyone, and I still think I have done a lot better, and I still want everyone, doesn't matter my brother, sister, whoever may be, I'm there to help them. I don't mind doing that. But to me, although I went through the struggle and everything, I don't take it as a struggle, because that was how my life was. So what I still think, nowadays, new generation is, although is so much digitally improved in everything, I think their life is harder, according to me. Okay, the first thing what people will notice in me that I'm a straight, direct talker. I don't go around the bush and talk to someone and get the talk someone else. But that's one thing about me, which is I do it naturally anyway. Secondly, I would love to crack jokes. I don't like miserable people in a way. So if you got to have a sense of humor. Without sense of humor, there's no life. That's what I believe in myself, and that's what people notice as well in me. So every time I talk to the people, they laugh. They know how I am. So that's how things goes. Okay, success, I would say, success only begins with you, within you actually. Nobody will get success until unless you believe yourself. So important thing is you believe yourself that you can do something. Believe in yourself. That's important for any generation, young generation, older generation, anyone, to believe in yourself, have a bit of humor and straightforwardness. You will not fail. Honesty is important, but you will not fail if you believe in yourself. Well, with a family, it's very important in life. Family is like a friends. Family is everything. To me, that's how I look at it. If your family is there, your friends will be around, everyone will be around. So you have to, although there is always misunderstanding everywhere, everybody's not the same. Everybody's an individual. So what we have to do, listen to what they have to say, but go with the family all the time. Unity, you need unity. There should be someone who should be talking about friendships, because all your friendships and everything start from the family actually, and whereby you can expand yourself. Okay, once I passed or if I've gone, well, for my future generation, there will be so many future generation anyway, but then again, only advice for them would be that be positive. If you got negative mind, is not going to work for any reason. So be positive, be honest, and be happy yourself. It's all within yourself. So everyone, I would advise that be positive. Well, I'm retired at the moment. I've been retired since last 15 years. So the time is just flown altogether. But I would like to travel. I like, if I got the right company, right people, I like to travel, because I have got friends and everyone, but I'm not connected with the friends because I've spent more time with the family. So I have involved with more family than anybody else. So wish I still got friends, but not that connected as much I should be. But I think I have to start looking for that. I still think younger generation or new generation should hold on to their culture. Culture is very important. You would know exactly where you come from. If you forget all your culture, then there is no way you're going to know where you come from. So it's best to hold on to culture. You don't have to go deep into it, right? But you have to know about it. Simple as that. It is always handy. Uh, with my foundation myself, which I did it myself more or less, but I have not what I would say, that I have always thought I'm just an example for the new generation. What I've been doing myself, I don't exactly tell them, but normally they look at me and they learn from me. So this is what I expect. The experience what been gone through with me, and since they've been looking at me, the way how I've been brought up and the way I was going and the way I was let my kids grow up and everything, then they will automatically realize themselves how they should be build their base with their family. Since I believe in my family, I always look up with my family actually to think good for them all the time. While we were in London, although it was only short weekend, we used to go Sunday afternoon. That's all we used to have a relaxed day. So what I used to do was to take my sister's kids, my sister, my Banevi, my kids, everyone to any park. Every Sunday we are always in some other park somewhere doing a picnic. Although I was the only driver, I used to load up everyone in one car and off we used to go. And this is how I planned. Once we got back in Leicester in 1983, then I thought, no, we'll carry on similar sort of things, whereby I thought, no, because here it's a big family. When you got a big family, you don't need anybody else. So it's a party all the time. Every weekend, that's how I plan everyone, that we must go every weekend somewhere in the park. If it's winter, it's different thing, but summertime we never ever missed. Even we used to do birthdays. Then once we get to the park, we used to do all sort of games like cricket, volleyball, whatnot. Anyway, but we used to do, every kids used to enjoy it. Every single of that. Then after that, my parents were with me as well at the same time. I always thought of my parents. I always thought of looking after them. So more or less all my life, although I was away for a good 7.5 years, still I was missing my parents. Doesn't matter. But end of the day, then when we came back to Leicester, then I planned myself that, look, everyone hasn't got time to meet up every day or every weekend or anything like that, even in winter time. So what I suggested was that to have everybody's birthday, someone, you don't have to call up. All you have to simply, when the birthday is there, everybody just walk in. No invitation, no nothing. Or simply, that is the system I've fitted up myself, and whereby still we are dealing with it, which is good in a way. And I believe in that actually. Family gathering is important in life, although everybody is not the same, but we still are like somebody there to advise each other. Look, whatever he does is right, because at times people don't want to do that. This is Minash's first birthday, in fact. Very well remember exactly. He looked tiny there, but we have the whole family, make it larger than life. Because we call everyone of from the Leicester as well, but actually this happening in London on our shop, on top of the shop actually, and he was enjoying what he was. Well, actually he likes so much sweet, so he was happy to have it. Whatever he eats, he likes it. So anything to do with the sweet, good. And well, it was his first birthday, so it was big birthday. We invited a lot of people round to make it. But in fact, he didn't know exactly what's happening around him. He was more interested in cake than anything else. So something interesting. That's all I can remember. Okay, remember this photo was taken in a bus. Actually, we were traveling from Dundee to Navsari, and it was somebody's wedding. I think it was Raki's wedding when they came out. It was 2015, and we thought let's go by the bus. Normally we would have gone by car or something, but just to make it fun, so we took a bus, and there was so much noise on, and people are shouting, everything. So it was lovely. We traveled in the bus, and Narendra Kaka especially came from New Zealand with his with Mrs. and all that, but they weren't with that. They went by car, and we went by the bus just to make it fun of the bus. Actually, we enjoyed the trip. Actually, it was nice. Okay, this is Kaya's. Well, she was just born then. She's only six days old, right? Because when she was born, we were still in America. The day we left, she was born. Okay, after 6 days, we were here for her chatti. Ba was there holding her, and me myself talking to Ba. And yeah, that was a beautiful day. We especially, we didn't shortcut the journey, but we were coming on that particular day, and in fact it worked out so well that we didn't have to readjust ourselves, and it worked out very well for us to see Kaya born. and new member of the family is there, Ma is holding, and so on. It's beautiful. Another thing, the best thing about her was that was our first grandchild and a girl. So it was so interesting for myself because we always had girl in our family. Firstborn is always a girl. So that was interesting as well. So I was so happy, and well, everybody else is so happy to see our grandchild. Yeah, this is Lina's wedding day photo. She got married in 2002, and this is when we took her photo. Actually, it was a great day, and that was the first wedding in our family, especially my family. Okay, I was so glad that it all happened, and it was beautiful day, sunny day, and everybody. So it was totally different atmosphere. So I still remember everything that happened on that particular day. Yes, and I'm happy. They are happy as well at the moment that they got married. Okay, this photo was taken by my cousin from New Zealand. They came specially for wedding. It was taken then. I think it was Harsha's wedding or something like that. But I can't exactly remember whose wedding it was. But they specially come over for just to attend that wedding. And my father was about 80 years old then, and Saita was okay. But that's all I can remember. I can't remember much more than that. This is our celebration for Christmas actually. I think I can't exactly remember the year, but I'm sure it was 2010. This was taken normally because all the Christmas party happens here at this house. So this is when it was taken, and Kaki is sitting there, Mahindra Kaka is there, myself there, just relaxing ourselves and celebrating the Christmas. That's all it is. Yeah, Mahindra Kaka got married in July 76, right? And that was taken at registry office. And well, Mahindra Kaka looked the same still, but only missing hair. Otherwise, he looked the same. It was an interesting picture because there wasn't many people at the registry office. We hardly about 20 of us went to got her married, and he was happy, and that's fine. Okay, this photo is just tell you truth, is a special photo because whole member of our own family were there. 5 brothers, 2 sisters, mom and dad. Everybody was there. So this is a special photo. Why I would say special photo? Because I came to England in 1968. It was February 1968. Then we decided to go back to Kenya after 3 years. So this was taken in 1971, and everybody was there. And it was very interesting because not very often you see this sort of photo with the whole family together. So I think I'm very lucky that it happened. We went only for 4 weeks to stay there. Instead, we stayed 8 months in Kenya because the life in Kenya was brilliant because you get all the facilities, nothing to be done. And when we were here in United Kingdom, we had to do everything ourselves. So we escaped from there, and rather than spending 4 weeks only, we stayed there for 8 months, and we come back after that. So it was a good memory of Kenya actually. We wouldn't like to feel like we should have left it, but only political reason we had to leave. But it was a brilliant time we had up there. Yeah, this is our newspaper shop, and I just went to experience myself to go into the business, right? And it was hard work, but this is where Mahindra, then they came down with their family, and this is when we were taken. I had my brother with me, Harshad, to help me out in the shop. He used to work for other company, but he used to help me out in the morning. So it's a good memory of my photo actually. It's a struggle. I had to do hard work on there, but I was happy to do it actually. That's where I started my business career. Yeah. Okay, this photo was taken at a Grand Bar on Melton Road. This is my 60th birthday actually, and we invited only, well, our family, plus we had some other friends as well. So friends like I had Mr. Lad, I had a daughter came in, her son who passed away now actually, but his son Paresh, Bhavik was there, and some other friends came down. But that was first celebration we had in a restaurant actually, which was good to have something different than a normal birthday we normally have all the time at home. But this was first special 60th birthday, that's why we had that. This is Leela's photo, was taken here outside 30 Meridian Drive. That was the day she got registered and came home, and we took this photo. Well, it was nice, and it is interesting because Ba was there, Bapuji was there, me myself there, so granddaughter, daughter, son, everybody were there, so it's quite interesting. Yeah. This is Kaya's second birthday actually. It was taken on, and she was she get on all right with me myself. So they always, wherever we go, I always carry her around, and she was so interesting and playful. And she talked about only 2 years, but she used to talk a lot actually. That's all I remember. And she had no problem, crying or anything like that. She's always playful girl, and that's all I remember. And that's my first granddaughter growing up. Looking at them make life, more interesting for me. Oh, this is my grandson. The interesting one actually. I think is the best grandson I have. Well, all my grandsons, both grandsons are great, but this is near me, and he's always playful, and he, most of the time he cannot do without me, right? He always after grandfather, so that's why we are very close to each other. And when this photo was taken, he jumped on me, and I don't know who took this photo, but that's why I kept in my profile. But it was so lively and interesting. This is my friend Dinkar. He's from London actually, and this particular was taken in Stanmore actually. It is 60th birthday. That's where we went up there. He's one of my closest friend, and we always been to his birthday. Anything happened with his family or anything, we are always there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, in fact, he's not my friend actually. In fact, he's my brother's friend, but he couldn't handle him because we had a very much common interest. So he left my brother and he joined me instead of that. So as everything, what we talk, everything we got common. So that's why he became a good friend of mine rather than my brother. Okay, this is my friend Dinka and my friend Babu. It was taken while, well, in fact, it was a surprise birthday party for my wife Kokila, and she never knew that it was her birthday actually. It was her birthday, but it was a surprise birthday party from the kids. So we traveled all the way from Leicester to London that night, and we had some friends and every. This is a special photo taken when my closest friend was there. So that's about it. I can't remember much more than that, but it was a surprise party for Kokila. Okay, this photo was taken one of the Christmas celebration. Not very often you would see any of this photo with my mother-in-law. Okay, so I got mother-in-law, my mother, my father, so all grandparents were there, and all my kids, all families. The rest of the families are normally there, but the one, my mother-in-law is never in the photo. But this is a special photo actually, and normally the celebration we do is always at this house. So, well, it's nice to have a photo like that. This photo was taken at Clumber Road, 57 Clumber Road, and that was my brother Mahendra's birthday and my son's birthday as well. So more or less we celebrate together as they were born on the same day, and it was interesting because, well, the birthdays are always interesting because we don't invite anyone, but we just get together and make fun and enjoy and eat cakes and everything. But yeah, this was at Clumber Road. Okay, this photo was taken on Bhavik's wedding when he got married in 2003. Well, it's a photo is taken with Varsha, my daughter-in-law. First time it happened that I got a daughter-in-law now. So it's another adding to the family. And it's good news that it's happening and everything was happy. And this is where our family photo. Okay, this photo was taken in 1986 actually. It was a holiday at the seaside. I used to drive around with the minibus, and I took my whole family. It's not only this is only my family there, but I was with my brother-in-law, my sister, and their two kids as well. So yeah, those days was something special about seaside. So one of this holiday we enjoyed it with the family. Okay, this photo was taken in McDonald's. I faintly remember it was Lina's 10th birthday, because we try to make something different sometime, although we always have it at home, but this is just to keep them happy. So we took all the kids to McDonald's to have this fun around, and well, it was okay. They were happy. Okay, this is one of my another second adventure about my business. From newspaper shop, I opened up an electronic shop. Right, I had no experience whatsoever, and I tried to get some agencies. So the first one we managed to get was Samsung, and we were called up for the normally have displays and food and everything. This is where we took all this photo complete. I took my family with me, friends as well, and we had a good time. Okay, this photo was taken at Alton Towers. Minaj, me, because Minaj used to like a lot of rides and things like that. We normally take, well, we always take family around at park and other places, but this was special because he loved rides. So that's why he's with me, having a good ride with the, roller coaster or something. Okay, this photo was taken on my 70th birthday at the restaurant called Everest Dining. Not very often we have photos, parties at hotel, but this was special. It was my 70th birthday. I had my cousins, I had some friends, and so on. And well, it's normal, like a birthday, but it was interesting one because not normally it was taken in the hotel as well. So yeah.